It's week 17, and we're trying to win some championships. No rhyme today because we're serious right now. It's championship week. Week 17 start sits for fantasy football. Welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dean.
No funny business, champion. You got to do that.
I'm Dean. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I'm missing something. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's championship week. Guys, look, Dean, go ahead and say the line that you said before the pod.
Listen, you're in the fantasy championships. You know what to do. We're only here to maybe decide something. You know what to do. You're here. You made it all year. Don't listen to us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go with your gut. Like,
Don't click off the video.
like, well, you know, we'll have some stats to back up our start sits, but we always say we're not experts. No one's an expert at this stuff. Sometimes it's just about getting lucky and the fantasy gods being on your side. But if you're really in a pinch, you really don't know who to start between two guys, go with your gut over listening to us or any other fantasy podcast out there. Because you'll be beating yourself up if the guy who your gut said to start is on your bench.
Yeah.
So go with your gut.
There's definitely some guys out too. We got CD out. Chuba's looking not so great.
Neighbors is
so
a
there's
game time decision.
neighbors. There's
Half
definitely
the
some
NFL is
decisions to be
questionable
made.
right now.
Yes.
Definitely
T. Higgins, another one.
decisions. So
Yeah.
we're here to help with that.
Yeah. All right. We'll get right into it. Quarterback starts of the week. I'm going with Kyler Murray. And it's been rough for Kyler Murray. It's been tough toenails for Kyler Murray, but excuse me. The Cardinals are officially eliminated from the playoffs. All they're playing for this week is to keep the Rams out of the playoffs. No expectations. No one cares if they win or lose this game. That's typically when Kyler Murray decides to show up, when there's no expectations. The Rams are also allowing the third most points per game to quarterbacks since week 13, so I think Kyler, he's due for a big game, no expectations. Kyler's a smash start for me this week.
Yeah, my start of the week is Bo Nix against Cincy. I got to stand with my boy, Jason Pickles, over there. I know he's making Bo Nix one of his starts of the week. He's starting him in a championship. I would start him in a championship. He's been a reliable fantasy option. Even when he has a bad game, he still has a good fantasy game for the most part. So I know Cincy's defense has been better as of late, but the level of competition has not been to the level of Bo Nix. So start Bo Nix and feel good about it.
Jason's so happy that we have to start Bo Nix.
You had Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My start of the week is going to be Anthony Richardson. He may not be a good quarterback. He may be one of the worst quarterbacks, but he's okay in fantasy.
Hey, he burned you last week.
He's dropped 21, 16, and 23 in his last three matchups. He's going up against the Giants. They suck. He has a good chance to put in a rushing touchdown, some rushing yards. So I'm starting Anthony Richardson.
They told me bust down my IP.
No, I mean, they love him in the goal line situation. So if he gets one of them rushing touchdowns, like, it's normally a solid week from him. That's really what you're banking on.
His floor is pretty high. Well, no, his floor is pretty low.
Yeah. His
But
ceiling is also very high.
His ceiling is like 35 points.
Yeah.
But my sit of the week, I'm going to go with Tua. They're going up against the Jets. Every quarterback has a rough time against the Jets.
Not Tua.
We'll see about this week. I'm sitting Tua.
Tua typically shreds you guys. I don't think he's ever lost to y'all.
Really? Is that true?
Maybe it's the Patriots.
I'm not
Maybe it's the Patriots and the Jets. I don't think Tua's ever lost
Tua's
to
a
the
bad
Jets.
team merchant.
Yeah.
That's what he is. All right, my sit of the week is it's Jared Goff against the San Francisco 49ers. It's tough because, look, Goff plays well in domes. That's that. Goff does not play well when he's not in a dome. And I don't think this is the week for him. I think there's better options. As I said, Bo Nix before. More than likely, there's going to be guys available to you on waivers. Trunks has been pushing the Aiden O'Connell narrative all week.
No, the Mason Rudolph.
Oh, the Mason
narrative.
Rudolph narrative. Sorry, yes. The Mason Rudolph narrative has been pushed by Trincali all week. I don't know if I backed the Mason Rudolph narrative, but
Not in the
yeah.
championship.
no, bro, you
Huh?
can't. You can't. You just can't.
Like,
do it.
our good friend Tom is in a dilemma where he is Jalen Hurts, and I think right now he picked up Bryce Young to start for him. Trunks is telling him pick up Mason Rudolph. He sent the guys on waivers. Matt Stafford's sitting there.
Matt Stafford is
I'm
cool.
sorry. In championship week, I'm not starting Mason Rudolph over Matt Stafford, bro.
Yeah,
no
but, like,
way.
What about Michael Penix?
No, I'm starting Staff. For
What did
Tom,
he put up Michael Penix last week? in his debut?
Six, but
yeah.
Pitts
He didn't have to
fucking
do
with the
anything
pick.
though. Like
It's- I don't know
the
what that
film
means.
was great
He
on
looked
Michael Penix.
awesome.
The film was sick. So
He looks amazing.
But he might not be fantasy ready yet
yeah. Also
for the championship.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
the
He didn't get one
defense
last week.
the defense scored what 2 touchdowns.
Did they?
They definitely scored one. Jesse Bates had a pick 6.
Yeah, they did have a pick.
I mean, they had 26 fantasy points, the defense, so they probably scored,
they
two,
scored 2
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Yeah, so he didn't really have to do much. But the
No.
film was great on him. So
He's got a.
Tua is 6-0 against the Jets in his career in games he's played.
Well,
Sit him.
My sit of the week, it pains me to do this because he's been on a tear recently, but I'm sitting Sam Darnold. I know he hasn't thrown many interceptions in the past few weeks, but he's going up against the Packers, and my thought process here is the Packers are so due to win this specific game
yeah.
against a great team, against a division opponent. They've struck. What are their losses? 2 against the Lions, and then 1 against the
One
Vikings
against the
this year.
Vikings, and then they have another loss. Eagles.
Right, against good teams. The
Yep.
Packers are due for that. They've been great, but they're due for that statement win over a great team. So I think the Packers win this game. And then also, they're allowing the 4th fewest points to quarterback since week 13. So I think it's a bad game for Darnold. I think the Packers roll them, honestly. So moved on to the running backs. It just has to be one guy. It's the best running back in the NFL. Starting Bucky Irving this week. Bucky Irving, the Panthers are allowing 29.9 PPR points per game to running backs since week 13, the 3rd most in the NFL. The last time the Buccaneers played the Panthers, Bucky was the RB1 overall on the week. He ran for over 150 yards, added a touchdown. It's a no-brainer. You start Bucky Irving this week.
Yeah, I mean, that was the easiest
Yeah.
start of the week for sure. For my start of the week, look, there's no logic that goes into this one. Just following my heart and the fact that I have to start him in one of my championships as well. It's Ramondre Stevenson. And look, Chargers defense has been good all season. But look, they're kind of susceptible to the run at points. I'm just hoping for a full load for Ramondre this week. That's really it. I just need a touchdown. I need some catches. Look, you either ride with me or you don't. I totally understand if you don't. So that's following my heart this week.
I'm going with the other running back in that matchup. He's a little banged up. He's coming off IR. We'll see if he plays. But if he does, J.K. Dobbins is my smash start running back. He's far and away the best running back on that team with Gus Edwards definitely out. Going up against New England, I'm definitely starting Dobbins if he plays.
So if Dobbins is out, is Kamani Vidal a smash start for you?
I think Hassan Haskins gets a lot of those carries.
So I think it's split 50-50 too. It really all depends on what you want because I think Kamani Vidal is more of the passing game back and then Haskins is the goal line. So it's really just like what do you prefer at that point? So
yeah.
Preferably starting either of those guys if Dobbins is out.
Yeah. For the upside, I would probably go with Vidal though. I think Vidal is the higher upside of the two if
Probably
you want to
more volume.
if you go with
in the
one.
PPR leagues.
Yeah.
So my sit of the week, I'm gonna go with Aaron Jones actually.
Yes.
So Aaron Jones is going up against a tough Green Bay defense who just
Trump.
actually produced the first shutout, the only shutout in the NFL season this year. The Ravens actually sort of shut out the Texans, right?
Yeah, I mean the defense shut out the Texans.
Right.
Yes.
So the only true shutout came from the Green Bay Packers, and they go up against the Minnesota Vikings. We need the Packers win this week. We're smashing the Packers win.
Yeah, they
Smashing the Packers.
100%. They basically played a JV team last week. That was rough. That was real rough to
bad.
watch. Yeah, for me, my sit of the week at running back is Rico Dowdle. Last week sold me in one of my semifinals. Thankfully, made it anyway. And this week he gets to go up against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's fun. That's a great defense. So you're not there. He's not going to be scoring many points unless he gets in the end zone. And even when they do get down there, it's Ezekiel Elliott. It's Ezekiel Elliott every single time. I see that 1-5 come in, and I'm just like, bro, what are we doing? Why are we still giving this man the ball in 2024? So yeah, I'm sitting Rico Dowdle. I'd steer very clear of him this week.
Yeah, I saw a stat on Twitter this morning that players with one or fewer rushing touchdowns this season, the most carries. Rico Dowdle's number one with like over 190 carries, and then the second most in that category with one or fewer rushing touchdowns was someone I forgot who, but with like
Half that.
100 teens something,
Oh, nice.
115 something around there. So
Yep.
yeah, Rico Dowdle, he's just struggling to get in the end zone, and especially with CD out, they're probably going to struggle to move the ball and get some.
Well, the Cowboys in general probably struggle to get into the end zone, right? So
Better recently, but that was with CD.
Yeah,
So
for sure. My sit of the week, it's going to be Brian Robinson going up against the Falcons. They're allowing the 5th fewest PPR points per game, so running back since week 13. And Brian Robinson coming off a 2-point game this past week, coming off a 2-fumble game. Listen, if Brian Robinson's cut like that, then he's cut like that. But
we know he is.
confidence probably shot after fumbling twice. I know his confidence wasn't shot after getting shot, but after fumbling twice,
Many men.
Yeah, many men. But after fumbling twice, his confidence might be shot. The Falcons are great against the run recently. Jaden Daniels could always vulture away a rushing touchdown from him down in the goal line. So I'm sitting Brian Robinson this week. Moving on to the wide receivers. My start of the week at wide receiver, it's going to be Garrett Wilson. And I know everyone's probably all over Devontae Adams this week. He's been great. He's going up against the Bills secondary that's allowing the most PPR points per game to wide receivers since week 13, but Garrett's just due. He's complaining about getting the ball. He's complaining about maybe wanting out. People are speculating that he wants to trade this offseason. So I think Rodgers is going to make it a focal point to get Garrett Wilson the ball against a secondary that's been pretty weak as of late.
did you know he already has the 4th most targets in the league?
Yeah.
Garrett?
Yeah.
Really?
Really. So I don't know what anybody's complaining about, honestly.
When it gets
He doesn't want to
down-
be there anymore.
When it gets down to the nitty gritty in the red zone and those gotta have it situations, Rodgers is not looking his way.
It was really clear. If I don't know who was watching the Jet game, but Aaron Rodgers wants Devontae to get that 500 touchdown. I think he's one away now, but he's very much force feeding Devontae the ball, which, probably rubs the wrong way with Garrett in the locker room and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he just wants out, man. It's pretty clear.
You talked to him?
obvious.
You
Yeah,
talked
I
to
did.
him?
I got
Yeah,
sources,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Oh my
sources.
God, Bryce Young and Garrett Wilson is gonna feed families.
That'd be
The Jets have
nuts if that
3
happened.
guaranteed years of control of Garrett Wilson, so he's not going anywhere.
Unless
Oh,
they trade him.
Sorry, Matty J. They're
Unless
not
they trade him,
trading
brother.
Garrett Wilson.
Well, I don't really care if they trade him or not, so you don't got to say sorry to me. It's
They're-
perfectly okay.
They're not.
Anyway, speaking of Bryce Young, his number one wide receiver is my start of the week. It's Adam Thielen. It's the vet. Always getting it done. And over the last 4 weeks, this man has had no fewer than 6 targets and no fewer than 10.1 fantasy points. As for the rest of those weeks, more than 15.3. It's been a ride for Adam Thielen, man. We thought this man was washed. Last year, he gives us a 1,000-yard season. He gets hurt this year, comes back. Here he is. He's a baller. Once again, Adam Thielen will forever be good. Start him, trust him, ride him.
So I'm gonna start Juwan Jennings going up against the Detroit Lions. I think so. The Detroit allows a lot of receiver points, and I think that's just because the game script that the Lions happen to go through every week, where they go up by a lot of points, and the opponent just has to throw the ball the rest of the game, which is probably going to happen against the 49ers, which they're not very good this year. So I would start Juwan Jennings, Brock Purdy's favorite target right now, outside of George Kittle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead. Send it back, brother.
I was really not ready to go back. I was like, this week I am going to sit. I lost it.
Nobody.
I'm sitting DJ Moore. DJ Moore.
What?
Played
Brother,
already.
my brother.
What?
He played last night.
Oh,
That's a pretty good idea to sit him, though.
what did he do?
Like,
Nothing.
5 for like 40 or something like that.
Well, good idea, Dean. Yeah, I mean, you
I did
should have
good.
sat him if you had him.
I forgot I was at work last night and I forgot there was a game going
You
on.
didn't
We
miss
didn't even
much.
have it on.
Oh,
You didn't
yeah. I barely watched that game.
You guys do your sits and I'll get another one.
All right, so for me, my wide receiver sit of the week is Khalil Shakir. It's a little tough because part of the reasoning is Josh Allen is a little banged up. He's just a little bit banged up, and I don't trust that fully. So I think I'm going to sit Khalil Shakir because of matchup, and also, yeah, I mean they're playing the Jet. No, who are the Bills playing
Jets.
again?
Yes.
They are playing the Jets, right? Yeah. So they're playing the Jets, which is number one. You don't want to wait. You said Tua before. Who's playing the Jets, which is why I
You
was so
did.
confused.
You did say
But
that.
that's why I was so confused, because I knew that the Bills were
Dean.
playing the Jets. Wait a second.
Who are the Dolphins?
Miami's versus Cleveland.
Oh, what the hell?
Are you still sitting
You
to
still
it?
sitting to her?
Sleeper's really messing with me right now because I checked Sleeper and it said at New York Jets. It kind of messed with me just
Were
now.
you on week 16?
No.
Oh, wait. Did they,
I just
did
said
they
this-
even play? I don't even
I just
know.
did the search like this, and before it said at New York Jets.
Wow.
Wow.
Sleeper mess with
Failed
you,
me.
man.
Failed me.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir against the Jets. Josh Allen. That's why I was so confused for a second. Josh Allen banged up, as I said. It's a sit for me this week. Khalil had a bad week last week too, so I'm staying away. I'm gonna stay away from Khalil Shakir this week.
My sit of the week is going to be Malik Neighbors going up against the Colts defense that in the beginning of the season we were saying start everyone against the Colts defense, but they've slowly gotten better and better throughout the course of the season. They're allowing the 5th fewest points per game to wide receivers since week 13, and Malik Neighbors is limited going into this game. He's a game-time decision, and he doesn't have any upside with no quarterback. Sure, he could get a bunch of targets. He could get some chunk yards, but the touchdown upside just isn't there with him with no quarterback. I know he is. He said himself he's a true game-time decision. So if Malik Neighbors is out, I'll just throw another sit out there for you guys. I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton.
Oh, come on.
Going up against the
Chris.
Bengals, if you look at the numbers, everyone says the Bengals defense is Swiss cheese, but I guess because they're allowing so many points and yards on the ground to running backs, since week 13, they're allowing the 3rd fewest fantasy points per game to wide
Yeah,
receivers.
but look at the
I was surprised at
quarterbacks
that.
they've been matched up against.
Okay, Bo Nix doesn't move me.
Yes, he does. He moves mountains. He
Bo
moves
Nix don't move
mountains.
me. No, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd truly sit him. Like, it depends who else you have. But, like, in your situation, I'd start Cortland Sutton
have no choice
over
then.
Malik Neighbors.
Well,
They were both my sits, so
Oh,
but-
Jesus
but I wouldn't feel
Christ.
good about either of them.
I don't, Chris.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah,
don't
I'm
have any
sorry
other
that you're in
options.
this situation, but it's just what the numbers say.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's a rough one. It is what it is, though. I would start Sutton over Malik too. I feel the same way. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough out here. Who's your tight end? Oh wait, you got to go
So-
wide receiver sit.
I'm gonna go with another Viking. I'm gonna go with Jordan Addison. I'm gonna sit him
Mm.
against the Green Bay Packers.
Just
Just
all
don't-
in on the Packers.
Just dogging on the dogging on the Vikings.
Nice.
Mm.
Send it back, tight end.
My tight end start of the week. It's gonna be Jake Ferg. CeeDee Lamb out, not many targets to go to. I'm banging on Ferg, probably scoring a touchdown.
He has to.
He has
Bruh,
to.
not one this year.
He's got to. Last game of the year, second to last game of the year, got to score a touchdown for us.
Yeah, my start of the week is TJ Hawkinson. We're not fully banging on the Vikings in this one, at least not for me. TJ Hawkinson has had a couple good games since returning, but he hasn't had great ones overall. The Packers, if they're susceptible to one thing, tight ends do pretty well against them. Receivers do not. I think Hawk has a big game. I would love to see him have a 27-point game on Trincali's bench too. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, start TJ Hawkinson.
My start of the week at tight end, it's my boy. Have him in both dynasty leagues. I'm happy that he's finally showing out, man, because he had a great rookie year. He struggled a lot last year, struggled a lot this year for the majority of the year besides these last 2 weeks, but it's Chigaquanko. Last 2 games, he had 10 targets 2 weeks ago. He had 11 targets last week. He had nine receptions, 81 yards last week. He was a tight end 2 on the week. Mason Rudolph loves this guy, and he's low-key due for a touchdown too. I mean, Chig with that type of volume, if he scores a touchdown, he'll be the tight end 1 on the week.
Bro, he's so athletic.
He's a beast. He's a
He's
monster.
so athletic.
He's huge. He can move. He's great. Like he's gonna be a good tight end
He's
for
gonna
some
be
years
a problem.
to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Chig, but if he's seeing double-digit targets, if he gets in the end zone, he'll probably be the tight end 1 on the week. It's really that simple. The tight end 2 without scoring a touchdown. So yeah, if he scores a touchdown, he'll be the tight end 1 overall on the week. It's that simple.
Yeah. So I got a couple questions for you guys, and you guys can make some decisions for me. Cortland Sutton was your sit of the week. The other options for me would be Jerome Ford, Jaden Reed, and Jonnu Smith. Do you start any of those guys over Cortland Sutton?
No.
I like Jerome Ford. I think Jerome Ford's been pretty.
Who are they versing?
Miami.
Dolphins. I know Miami's in a must-win type of game, but Jerome Ford, I mean, he basically has that backfield to himself. You know, Pierre Strong's not getting much work there, so And Jerome Ford has, I mean, he's a great receiving back. I don't know what his reception totals are exactly, but
Do you really think the Browns are going to be in a position to be running the ball most of the game, though? You really think?
Well, that's why he's saying it's still safe because of catches.
yeah, he's,
So his last 3 weeks, he's had five targets, 5 catches, 2 targets, 2 catches, 4 targets, 3 catches. So
yeah, I mean,
You could start Jerome.
I
I would go him over Sutton.
yeah, I like Jerome Ford over Sutton. I mean, he was on the field for 80% of snaps last week. That's probably the number that really stands out for him. He really has the backfield to himself.
yeah, Vlad over Sutton. Because then
Who do the Chargers play?
New England.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, Lad over Sutton.
But is he gonna get
New
the
England's
Christian Gonzalez
defense
treatment?
is
I think
good.
Lad's a wide
New England's
receiver.
defense been shut down.
I think he's a
And-
wide receiver 1 this
Great.
week, Lad. I'm really high on him this week.
Okay.
Oh man,
All right.
I don't know.
Shit.
I'd go Jerome Ford over all 3. Like out of the 3 of them, I'd go Ford,
Who would be last?
Sutton. I'd
Okay.
go Ford, Ladd, Sutton.
Okay. All right. Well, this is pain. Goodbye, Court.
There's a world where the Bengals like absolutely demolish the Broncos. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that could mean good
They're
things
so,
for Sutton.
I guess. Yeah, but do we really trust Bo Nix in a negative game script? Bro, Bo Nix is so mid, bro. Like, I just,
Here he goes.
He's a Sean Payton merchant.
Bro,
he's an age merchant,
he's an everything merchant.
How old is he?
apparently, according to
25?
Twitter.
like 50.
He's 24.
24?
right
Okay,
now.
so why is everybody acting like he's mad old?
He's like 50, bro.
He
Bro was
came
playing
out-
against Justin
Michael
Herbert
Penix, I
in
think, is
college.
older than him.
Bro was playing against Justin
That's
Herbert.
worse.
In
That's
college.
really bad. And he still had to sit.
Michael Penix is older than this man. Like, I'm pretty sure.
It's embarrassing.
Bro was a Marvin Mims merchant.
Well, Devon Vele is like a 26-year-old rookie.
He is 26. Bro, these Broncos love older rookies.
I
Yeah,
think
they're
he's-
both 24, bro. What are we doing?
Yeah.
He's not even that old. Joe Burrow came in the league at 23. Oh. All right. It's pretty much everything, right?
Dean, you have any personal sorts of questions for us?
I got
Oh.
bounced in both my leagues last
Aw,
week, so
darn.
no
Yeah.
You
personal
still have
sources.
the best record in Dynasty history, though.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I'll ask one to you guys. So I'm pretty sure on all the rankings I've seen, they're the number 1 and number 2 ranked defenses this week. But I guess maybe the Seahawks will finish as the number 1 with the 16 they dropped last night. But I have them in both leagues. I made sure that I had both of them for these matchups. The Colts I was on weeks and weeks ago to make sure I had for championship week. But Colts defense versus the Giants or Dolphins defense versus the Browns?
Jameis is back, I think, correct?
I'm not too sure.
I think that changes a lot for me. But yeah, nah, it's the Colts against the Giants, bro. We stink.
I like the Colts defense
We
in general.
stink. We're so bad at football. And
Is Drew Lock starting?
on a
Ken
week to
Dorsey
week-
said that DTR is going to start at
Oh,
quarterback.
God, stop it. Put Jameis back in. I would start the Colts anyway.
I like
Mhm.
Colts D.
Cool. All right.
Wait, because I actually have a million defenses in one of my leagues. I did not start the Seahawks, which I'm kind of disappointed in myself for, but because I'm starting the Chargers against New England, but I picked up a bunch of them. Oh, okay. So the Dolphins against Cleveland or the Chargers against New England. That's the only one that I have between.
Chargers against New England.
I go with the Dolphins, bro. DTR is ass.
I know
bro.
he is. That's where
He's
I'm winning
ass,
too.
ass.
He is real bad at football.
Drake May could just launch a 50-yard touchdown.
He really
You know
could.
what I mean? DTR ain't doing that shit. Yeah, nah, I'd go with the Dolphins.
Did you see that ball Drake threw on the sideline?
Yeah.
Bro, that was
Yeah, nah.
bonkers.
Yeah.
That man.
Dolphins are also playing
Diffy.
desperate because their playoff hopes are technically still alive.
Yeah, just as
They're
much as the
technically-
Bengals
yeah,
are at
they're
this point.
technically not eliminated yet.
But wait,
so.
If the Bengals beat the Broncos and the Dolphins win this week, they would need to win next week.
The
and
Colts got to
have-
lose. The Broncos got to lose out, I think. The Bengals would have to lose next week.
Yeah.
And the Colts have to lose one of these next 2, I think.
Jeez.
Need a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
to happen.
Wow. I mean, it's still possible.
Yeah.
It's still possible. All right. Dean, thanks for doing Start Sits with us, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks to you guys for all the love and support that you guys shown on these start sits all year. We it was our best performing thing on our channel throughout the
For
course of this
sure.
this football season. So we appreciate all that. We'll definitely be back and better next year with some start sits, and we'll have a bunch of off-season fantasy stuff. We're definitely going to dive into the dynasty world, rookie drafts, all that fun stuff when the time comes. So
Let's go.
be on the lookout for all that stuff. Make sure you guys check out the full podcast dropping every Tuesday. Follow us on all our socials, all that good stuff. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let us know any start sit questions you guys have, or just any updates on championship week down in the comments below, and keep us in the loop on how you guys do this week. So with that,
That
Ball
was
game.
ball
ball
game.
game.